This is the Wandering Mike.
Welcome everyone to the Wandering Mike. Today I'm here with Mio.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. How are you going today?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
Nice. Yeah. It's been a good weekend.
Yeah.
Good chill Sunday so far. No rain so far, which is good as well.
Are you kidding me? It's been raining a whole weekend.
Yeah, but not today.
Oh, not today. That's true.
I don't think. But yeah, last night it was horrible.
It's a storm.
Yeah, I guess we are getting into like the wet season or whatever they call it. It's technically summer, but it's also in Queensland. It's also the wet season. So
Yeah, the humidity is killing me. Yeah, so humid and it rains all the time. It doesn't rain all the time, but when it rains, it really it rains heavy.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, it doesn't like just rain for a bit the whole day. No, it just rains super strong for a couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. Then it turns sunny again.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you how the weather compares to where you're from, but before I spoil where you're from, I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself as well. So yeah, if you just wanna to get the people like a small picture of yourself, just give us a quick where you're from, anything that you think you want to share about yourself as well, just so we have a quick intro that we can go.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Mio. I am from Sweden, the southern part of Sweden. I am 18 years old and I'm turning 19 in a week. I just graduated high school, and now I'm traveling Australia, like as a gap year thing.
Right. So yeah, Sweden. So we talked about Sweden a bit. We talked about like off air, and we talked about how it's like it has this southern part and the northern part, and how maybe the northern part isn't really that northern either. But like also the different climates that Sweden has. But how does the weather that you usually have in Sweden compare to what you've experienced in the last like weeks here?
Oh yeah, it's really different. It's spring, like it's now we haven't even entered summer season yet in Australia,
Yeah.
and it's only spring, but it's hotter than the hottest it gets in Sweden. So during the summer months, it's a dry heat. It gets from 20 to 30 degrees per day.
Right.
It can also rain a lot depending on the weather. But then we get autumn, which is really gray and it rains a lot, and then we have winter, and yeah, it gets really cold. So it's really different because now Sweden is in the autumn months.
Yeah.
So when I look at my friends, what they're sending to me, what they're posting, it's really different because they're having rain, they're having the cold season right now, while I'm having 35 degrees.
And like you said, like the humidity that you're not really used to in, like, I guess anywhere in Europe. It's because like I lived in Portugal before I came here, and it gets really hot there as well. Like in summer, in August, we usually get like 40 degrees, like for at least a week there, maybe even 2 weeks. But it's a dry heat as well, like you said. And I think the first time I really experienced like a humid heat like we have here was in Indonesia when I was living in Jakarta. And at first, when you're not used to it, it can feel like very, like it's pressing on you, like it's really um, pressing down. But you kind of, you kind of get used to it. And then it's just a lingering kind of feeling.
Yeah, you do get used to it, but still, it's still very uncomfortable, especially when you're working in the sun.
No, yeah, of course. The kind of work that you do as well, like,
Yeah.
or all the people in the hostel, like working out, or most of them work outside, like on the farms, and like you said, we're not even in summer yet, so
It's crazy.
again, it's gonna get even crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so you said you came to Australia to do like a gap year. So the plan is to definitely only stay a year, or what's the options there?
So that's a good question. So I'm thinking, I'm staying in Australia till about April,
Right.
and then I'm gonna go travel through Asia.
All right.
So I was thinking Bali, then going up through Malaysia, then go up through Thailand, and ending my trip in Vietnam, and then go back to Sweden.
Nice.
Yeah. So now I've been in Australia for like 1.5 months, maybe two. No, it's 1.5 months. Uh, and I was in Sydney to begin with. Worked there for a bit. Then I went up to Arawara, which is a small little coastal town where I did a surf camp for a week. It was really
Right.
fun. Then I went to Brisbane, and now I'm here.
Nice. Um, so the plan is to complete the 88 days so that you can come back at some point. Is that kind of why all of you kind of are here now?
Yeah, that's the idea. But I've changed my opinion during the
Mm.
last few weeks. I don't really care about finishing my 88 days. That doesn't really matter to me at all. Um, the only thing I care about really is making money, so I can do fun things,
Right.
and then and then moving on to other places like Sydney or Melbourne. I don't necessarily want to stay here for 3 months just because,
You have.
right? Because I don't really think I'll be coming here again to work. After this year, if I want to visit Australia again, it's not to work, it's just
Mm.
to be a tourist. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing to also free yourself, kind of like you can just take whatever comes. You're not forced to do anything, and you can just go with the flow.
Yeah,
Like
precisely.
whatever happens. Um, so after or before we go to after Sydney, let's go to Sydney. When you grew up in Sweden, I don't exactly remember. Well, I couldn't pronounce it anyway. But the town that you're from, is that like a particularly big town? Is it a smaller town?
It's the fifth largest, around the
Right.
like fifth largest, sixth or seventh largest. Yeah. Um, so it's a relatively big town compared to
So
other cities.
so I'm asking because obviously Sydney is the biggest city in Australia and just a big city in general. Um, so how do you feel about big cities? Do you enjoy the big city life? Is it too much going on? How do you feel about that?
That's a good question because when I arrived in Australia, I was feeling very out of place. I was feeling, oh, this is too big for me.
Hmm.
I'm not used to these kinds of cities. I think Stockholm is a big city, but that Stockholm only has 2 million in population, while Sydney has 5.8. So it was a really big contrast to Sweden. But I got used to it and I started liking it. But the worst part is that you never really get all quiet, all peace and quiet. It's always some kind of noise happening. That's the thing about big cities, and some people like that and some people don't. And in the beginning, I didn't like that, but yeah, it differs from time to time.
Yeah, because I would say I'm kind of similar like that because especially a lot of the backpackers I meet, they they want to go to the big cities. They want to go where stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, there's not only Bundaberg and Sydney. Like, there's also in between. It's obviously if you compare here to the bigger cities, like nothing's happening. Like, there's nothing going on. But has also um like bigger towns that aren't like big cities yet. Um, but what I really enjoyed. I feel like you have to kind of find the vibe of the city. Because when I lived in Portugal, like in Lisbon, it's also a very big city. It's a very busy city. I think I kind of got lucky because I moved there during COVID. So the only reason I worked there was actually because of COVID, because I finished my studies and then I had planned like a world travel. Like I wanted to just travel around the world after I finished everything. And then COVID came. So then at first I was like, yeah, well, just wait a month,
Yeah.
like it's not gonna last that long. But then COVID had other plans. So I was looking for opportunities to still go outside of Germany. But obviously, with travel not being a thing at that point, I would have to find some kind of work so that I could like live in the place. And then in Portugal, there's a couple of them actually, but the biggest one like has the best marketing. So there's a lot of call centers in Portugal, um, just because the wages are obviously lower than they would be in Sweden, than it would be in Germany, than it would be in France and Italy, and they basically have call centers for all these regions. Like there's German speaking customer support people, there's English, Italian, French, Spanish, even. So it's like this big international call center that I then went to work with. Um, and yeah, the good thing was that there was virtually no tourists because of COVID. So in the first 1.5 years that I was there, I got to experience the city like only with the locals, which even the locals don't really get to experience, because as soon as COVID was over, I saw the real face of Lisbon, where like it's just overrun with tourists. Like every night, every morning, even when you're just gonna go to work at 6 o'clock, like there's all the drunk British people like still in the metro. It's, uh, but even then, I liked it. I liked that there was like stuff going on. But by that point, I also found like my favorite spots, and I sought out like the more quiet places that you can go to, like the most beautiful spots where you could sit over the river, stuff like that. And I think for me, it's more these spots in the city than maybe like the best restaurant, the best bar. Kind
Oh
of.
yeah.
It's not like establishments, but more like just places. Oh, from here you have a good view of the bridge. Like, oh, here there's this part when you just cross the river with the ferry, and then you can go along and just sit basically on the river and overlook all of Lisbon, like all these little hidden spots,
Yeah.
sort of.
That sounds nice. Yeah. What made you come to Portugal?
Um, well, yeah, basically because what I just typed in, I was just Googling. I Googled like, think as Googled job opportunities, German speaking abroad. And then one of the things that came up, there was a couple of things going on in Spain as well. I think also call center kind of thingies, but there's also a lot of like animation kind of things
Oh,
where
yeah.
you like entertain kids or even like teenagers and stuff in like hotel resorts, which also sounded like fun. Where
Yeah.
you just go like and do some singing with them and like
Man, that'd be so fun.
yeah, right.
Yeah, just jumping around in good weather and a good resort. I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah. And but then I saw Portugal and well, Lisbon in particular, and I was like, I've never been to Portugal. Like I've been to Italy, I've been to Spain, obviously only as a tourist, like with my parents. I've never been to Portugal. And I was like, why not? And I also, I like the heat. I like the sun. So I'm always trying to go from, and the summers in Germany are great as well. Don't get me wrong, but they're also short, and then the winter is cold and rainy,
Yeah.
and used to be snowy, but even nowadays there's not too much snow anymore. It's just raining.
That's sad.
And so yeah, um, I kind of felt as well, like, because while I was studying, I went to Indonesia. Part of my studies was to spend 1 year in Indonesia, and then I already experienced like a year of basically 40 degrees all year long. And obviously Portugal isn't that extreme. Like in the winter, it gets down to like maybe 15, but still very mild.
Yeah.
So that all those things were kind of, oh, it's a climate I'm gonna enjoy. I'm never been there, so I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the job itself also presented like a good opportunity for me at the time, because um basically I always knew that I like to interact with people in some sort of fashion. I didn't really know what it would look like exactly when I came out of college, but I always knew that it's something, even if I didn't completely enjoy it when I was younger, it was always something that I was just thrown into because it's something I'm quite good at. Like in school, when you had to do like a presentation, like I was never the guy who did the research. I was never the guy who like put everything together and really like took care of all the details. But then when it was time to present, everyone was like, yeah, Mike's gonna present, right? So it was always kind of like that thing, that I knew there is something that I can work with,
Yeah.
and I just have to get more confident in it as well. Because, like I said, I wasn't completely enjoying it. I wasn't hating it, but it's just, yeah, I was just thrown into that. And then when I saw call center, I was like, well, this gives me like, it forces me to talk to people 8 hours a day. Like, they call you. It was for Expedia. I don't know if it's like a
Never.
travel agency. It's like super big in Germany.
Oh,
It's kind of like booking.com.
okay.
But it does, I think booking.com does flights now as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it does flights and hotels, bit more specialized on the flights.
Okay.
So since I love traveling, like that was the perfect thing. Like people gonna call me, um, to change their flights, to change their hotels. Obviously, also they're gonna call you a lot of times if they're not happy about something, or like, oh, something went wrong, and you need to fix it or something like that. But yeah, it forces me to talk to people and gives me the chance to work on my communication skills, to like de-escalate situations, to just, yeah, all these sort of things. So I was like, yeah, that's a job that I can do, because it's also a job where I can learn from it.
Yes, bro. That's
So,
hell yeah.
so yeah, and that eventually turned into, after a year, they promoted me to trainer. So
Yeah.
then I got to train all the new people coming into the company and teach them how do I communicate with people. Also, how do I use like the specific software that we were using, in the call center. And that's when again I got to refine my communication skills even better, because now it was about how do you communicate something so that people actually understand it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing for you to understand it, but to present it in a way that a lot of people, all of whom are different, because everyone learns different, everyone like needs different things, that can actually take things away from it. So um yeah, that again helped me, since it was teaching communication. helped me understand communication even better.
Okay, yeah.
Because whenever you try to teach something, I feel like you learn it better. Like, let's say you went to the surfing camp, right?
Yeah.
And you maybe after a week you are quite confident in what you do with surfing, but then someone comes along and asks you, well, can you explain it to me? You have to think about it more, and it
Yeah.
forces you to even understand it more so that you can teach it to them, you know?
Yeah, well, it makes you think like, um, otherwise you just use your muscle memory, just do as you were taught. But when you're the person that actually has to do the teaching, you have to think about it from another perspective. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yes.
Um, so let's use that actually to talk about the surfing. Um, because that's something I wanted to, that was the first question when I was thinking about after Sydney. Um, so you did a surf camp for one week, you said, right?
That's right.
Um, how can I ask that in a way where I don't influence the answer? Um,
Huh.
how, how was that experience to have a week to concentrate on one thing, and then also particularly the the surfing? How was all that for you?
I thought it was a really fun experience. Like, I've never tried surfing before. Like, first of all, like a new experience is always a good experience, according to me.
Mm,
Um, and also I thought it was really fun, like generally. And also, it has a lot of techniques to it, a lot of new movements, a lot of things you never do. So you have to really focus on it, and especially like being on a camp, because that then there's like this like one thing that you think and do, besides hanging out with friends and eating good food. Um, yeah, I thought it was really nice. The experience was amazing.
so you think that's something that you at all like gonna do again in your life?
I'm probably gonna do it again. Maybe not a camp this time. I would love to just buy a surfboard, rent a
Mm.
surfboard, go somewhere with my friends, and just trying to have fun. Yeah, I would love to do that. I thought it was really fun, but maybe not a camp again.
The cool thing is that actually, like, think the most expensive thing in surfing is to learn it,
Yeah,
because once you kind of have an idea how to do it, to rent a board is relatively cheap. Like at most of the places, like I know in Portugal, it's super cheap. It was like maybe $20 or €20 for like half a day or something.
that's good.
And in Christchurch, we did it as well. Like there's a really good surf in New Zealand as well.
Mm.
Um, so one of the guys from the hostel, he also took me one time. Like he had his own board, but he was like, "There's this shop where you can rent the boards." I think also was like $50 or something. For technically the whole day. We didn't have the whole day, but
Okay, yeah.
uh, so yeah, if you know what you're doing and you don't need like assistance, I think it's a thing where a lot of the places you can just rent one out relatively cheaply and then just go into the water with your friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fun part. I love being free. That's part of the reason I came here, actually. Just, breaking free from, uh, you know, I just graduated high school, and I was feeling like, I need something different, because the plan was originally to attend university, like
Right.
now. But I was feeling like, okay, I don't want school on school. I want something in between. And I love traveling. I've always loved traveling. So I heard about this working holiday visa, and I was thinking like, okay, so I can make money while I travel. Sounds like the best deal ever. So that's the part of the reason I came here.
I think it's also very nice. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say it now because I just really figured the idea out 2 years ago with the working holiday visas, because I kind of knew that they were there. And when like now it's super popular. But when I was graduating high school, which is like 11 years ago now, it was already kind of a thing, but it wasn't as present as it is nowadays. And actually, three of my really good friends, they did it. Like after high school, they did they also didn't do a full year. I think they did like 6 or 7 months, and they ended up not really working in Australia either. They worked like in Germany beforehand. Like I think for like half a year after high school, they just worked in Germany, and then they went over here on the working holiday and basically just did a road trip for half a year,
That's nice.
which was super cool as well. Um, so that I knew that they did that, but then yeah, I didn't really think about it. And then yeah, all of a sudden you're studying and then you're working, and time just flies so fast. And then originally, when I quit my job, like 2.5 years ago, to go traveling again, the plan was to go to South America because, like, being in Lisbon, like meeting a lot of Brazilians and just being surrounded by like a lot of Latin vibes. Like, I think Portugal and Spain obviously are the two places where you get the most close to like Latin culture in Europe. And I was like, I need to go over there. Like, I need to go over to that continent and experience it. And I did my planning, and I quickly realized, well, it's nice that you want to do all these things, but you don't have any money to
All
do
right,
it.
yeah.
And then I realized, oh yeah, I actually thought about my three friends, and I was like, yeah, working holiday visas. And because I've been to Australia as a tourist when I went to Indonesia, so after that, I traveled the East Coast for 3 months as well. And so I was like, you've been to Australia, you've seen it, let's go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And then after New Zealand, I just also thought, okay, it's the last year that you can actually do these things because then you're going to turn 30. Um, so just through Australia as well, you're already here. So basically, what I'm going to say is like, now that you know that these things exist, because you can do them in so many countries, actually, it's not only New Zealand and Australia. It's actually, I think it is one or two countries in South America. I think you can do them in Chile. I think you
Yeah.
can do them in Argentina. I know you can do them in Japan. A lot
Yeah.
of people do them in Japan,
Yeah.
Canada.
Oh, that's also popular. Going to Canada to do like a ski season.
Yeah. So, yeah, now that you had that experience, all the doors are open to you.
Yeah, that's true. And it would be really fun to just, keep traveling after this year. I think I'm gonna be in Australia for 6, 7 months. Yeah, 6, 7 months would be like a good time span. But I don't think I'll do another working holiday visa. I'm thinking after this, I will either, uh, no, I'm pretty certain I will go to university after this. Uh, because that's what's the original plan. But you never know. Things change, like mindsets change, opportunities change. So if I don't feel the need or if I don't want to go to university next year, I can always do it later. I'm still young. I have a lot of time. And doing another working holiday visa would be really fun as well. Yeah, I heard like Japan is also getting really popular right now.
Yeah.
Since also many people think that okay, you need to be able to speak Japanese, but actually the English how do you say this? Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities working in English as well. So I've heard at least.
Yeah. I think you can get by. I mean, obviously, you're gonna learn like the basics because you're gonna live there for a year. Like you're gonna
Oh, yeah,
like
it's
learn
true.
some things, but uh, you can get, especially in the bigger cities, like you can get along really great with English. Than if you like go like really rural probably it's gonna become an issue, but in like the
Yeah,
bigger urban parts, like it's gonna be fine. But yeah,
especially like with young people. I feel like old people, especially in Asia, I think it's probably hard to find people who are confident in speaking English, and especially finding jobs that you only need English to
yeah.
work.
But I mean, like you said, you are still young, so even after college, if you
Yeah,
want to go travel again for years, so like you can still do these things.
that's true. That's very true. Life has all of these paths, and I just think you need to find these, because I didn't know I was going to go to Australia before like 2 months before I actually went.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really crazy coincidence actually. So after high school, me and my friends did this graduation trip
Hmm.
where we interrailed through Europe.
Oh, nice.
So we went to Amsterdam, Milano, Como, went through northern Italy and up to the Alps in Austria and so
Mhm.
forth. And I had applied to university, and I was really certain that I was just going to start studying. But then I was laying in my bed one afternoon in Como,
Mm.
and I was scrolling on TikTok, and then I got a video in my For You page, uh, and it was Casper, one of my friends.
Right.
Yeah,
The
uh,
best human in the world.
yeah, the perfect human
The
being.
perfect
Yeah,
human.
no, yeah, exactly. Uh, so he posted a video saying that he was going to go to Australia to work for 1 year, and yeah, he showed like a screenshot of his working holiday visa,
Hmm.
and I was intrigued. I was like, okay, yeah, this sounds fun. So I texted him and I said like, oh, in Swedish, obviously, but
Yeah.
I wrote, how do I do it? That was what I wrote. And he responded like, it's really easy. Just type, just like search it up. It's really easy. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do this. And I was thinking about it for some weeks. And then I decided, yeah, I'm going to go to Australia. So one of my most adrenaline rushed moments of my life is when I clicked send
Fun.
to apply, no, apply button to apply for the visa. And when I got it back, it was like, okay, this is real now.
Right.
I just spent 400 euros to apply for this visa, and now it's reality. Um, and that was such an amazing moment. And later on, my plan was to go solo in the beginning. But me and Casper, we kept writing on Instagram, and eventually, he said, "Come on, let's take the same flight." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" And then we booked the same flight, and then one of Casper's friends also was to join, Oscar.
Ask.
And now we've just been like we've been together as a group now for the whole time that I've been here, and we've grown incredibly close. So that that has meant a lot for me, making new friends and just having this experience. Have you heard about the butterfly effect?
Yes. It's
Yes.
also a movie, is it not?
Is it what?
I think it's a movie.
It is?
The Butterfly?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen the movie, but
No, no, me neither. No, but I really think that that is the best moment, the best butterfly effects moment in my life when I got when I saw Casper's video on my For You page.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, some things just, well, I mean, it is how we react to these things as well. Like, I always think like things happen for a reason, and like these things come to us into a certain time. But obviously, it's also how you react to them. You could also been like, "Oh, Casper's going to Australia. Good for him." But no,
yeah.
you were like, "Oh no, I want to go now." No, like it's how you react to everything that happens around you,
That's true.
as well. So because you had the choice of saying like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," but you're like, "Oh no, I
Yeah.
want to. How can I do it? I want to do it.
Yeah, and I also think one thing I really have learned from this is that never stay in your comfort zone. It's always good to put yourself in situations where you don't feel comfortable, and that's my favorite saying. Yeah. So I just think that making yourself uncomfortable in certain situations just makes you more comfortable in the end, and it just builds opportunities, and it's why it makes your path. Sorry, it adds different paths that you can take in life. So yeah, I've learned a lot from this.
Yeah, I'm actually very happy to hear you say on that. Because I don't know if I had an experience like that when I was 18. So, but with travel, it was like that for sure for me as well. Because I traveled really young, and travel was always the one thing. Like in other parts of life, I wasn't as risk taking, as adventurous. I maybe stayed in my comfort zone too much. But especially with traveling, and I think I told you as well about me going to high school when I was 16 in the United States.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. So I always, with the going abroad, I never really thought about the risks. Like my friends were like, "Oh, you're not worried. Like, oh, you're going like on the other side of the world. Like, oh, what if this happens? What if that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't think about it."
No, yeah.
Kind of like that. Um, so yeah, I think just the more you do things, like you said, that puts you out of your comfort zone, the less you even have thoughts like that. Because it's easy to go, oh, 1 year in Australia. Oh, what if I don't find a job? Oh, what if Casper hates me after 2 days and I'm all on my own? Like people think about a lot of stuff that never happens, but they spend like a lot of energy thinking about these things, and that's just one silly example, but it spans over to all of your life.
Definitely. Yeah.
And the more you have experience like you have them now, um, you already know I'm gonna overcome it. So even if a thought pops up, you're like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, and everything is gonna be all right in the end. That's for sure. So, what did you study in college?
I studied environmental engineering and development work.
Fuck yeah, that sounds really nice. That sounds interesting. Yeah.
No, it was super interesting.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think I've said this on the podcast as well a couple of times. The only reason I studied it was because it was interesting to me. So, I mean, it was kind of like expected of me to study. It's kind of like, well, you finished. And I actually don't know how it is in Sweden, but in Germany, we have like 3 types of schools. Like, after your 4th grade, you basically decide which path you want to go. So you can either go to the lowest, I mean, it's not lowest in quality, it's just the lowest type of school, which adds 5 more years. So you're basically in school for a total of 9 years, and then you can go straight to work. So if someone knows, oh, I'm going to be a painter, I'm going to be a carpenter, they would choose that so they can start to learn their skill as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And then there's like a middle level where you go for 6 more years. So you go 10 years in total. And then you also go into like a learning. So maybe you're going to work at a bank, and you get to learn the specifics of the bank really in the next few years or so. And then you have the highest level where you go for an additional 8 years, so 12 years in total. And if you go to the if you go to the 12 years, it's kind of the normal path is after that to go to university.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, in Sweden, you cannot do less than 12 years. You have to do 12 years, yeah.
Right.
But we have a different type of structure, and I think it's a very interesting one. And I also think it's really good. So we have like different majors.
Right.
So there's majors that prepares you for university.
Mm.
I took the social science major, so that prepares you for university.
Yeah.
There's also the economics major, the natural sciences one, but there's also ones that prepare you for just going into work life. So like different blue collar jobs. So you can take the carpenter major. You can take the electrician major, for example. And in the span of those 3 years, as you go into high school, you also get an apprenticeship if you choose the work-based ones.
Right.
So different people chose different paths. My father, for example, he studied the mechanical one. So he's a mechanic. But yeah, my sister, she chose the economics one. And yeah, it's also, it prepares you for university if you choose these kinds of majors, but it's not really expected. Like it's
Right.
maybe 50% go, maybe, or 20, something like that. It's not all of them.
That is an interesting structure, though, that
Yeah.
you're gonna go. And actually, I think it's like that in, well, I don't want to say most countries, but I know that the American system is similar to that. Like everyone
yeah.
goes to 12 years of high school. And in the States, you can even, like, you can not only choose majors, but you can choose exactly what classes you want to take.
Yeah, it's
Like you can put your own, like I did that when I was over there. Like it was kind of like you had to take like the English class, you had to take like a maths class, but you could choose which one. You could go like, oh, do I want to do simple algebra or do I want to do advanced calculus? Like you can choose, and you can kind of, in your interest, if you're like, well, I just want to do the basic maths, and then I want to do maybe the crafting, I want to do a crafts class and stuff like that. Like you can just choose your own schedule pretty much.
oh yeah.
So I think that's really interesting as well, because then I suppose everyone also goes to the same school, right? Or is it
No,
different schools depending on the majors?
yeah, like I went, so usually there's schools that have more of these work
Right.
preparing ones. They usually have their own ones. My school, we had the 3 different majors. So we had the social sciences one, economics one, and then music and theater one.
Right.
But that depends on that school. But usually they don't mix. So you usually don't have people who study economics and people who study electrician in the same
Okay.
same school. So yeah, we don't really mix in that way. But yeah.
Okay. No, that's similar to Germany then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because in the States, they just all went to the same high school,
Okay.
and then everything was happening in the high school.
So
depending on-
where in Germany are you from?
very close to Munich, so the southern part.
So you're from Bavaria?
Yes.
Yeah. Bayern, yeah.
Yes.
So you do support Bayern Munich?
Of course I do.
Glory unto. No, it's kidding.
I'm from there.
Yeah, you're from there. Yeah.
My dad was a supporter, so, or is to this day.
Well,
so.
in that case, I cannot call you glory unto them. No, so wait, it's close to Munich?
Yeah, it's like 30 kilometers, but with the autobahn, it only takes like 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, amazing.
Um,
Praise the Autobahn.
so yeah, I'm like close to the city, but I actually grew up on a very small village. It was like
Okay.
2,500 people that lived there, so very rural. But yeah, because it's next to the Autobahn, it's very well connected to everything around.
That's nice.
So
I think you have very surprisingly good English for someone who is from rural Germany. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously, I think having went to high school in the States helped.
Yeah.
Like, I my English definitely like got perfected there. I was like I was always good in languages. Like I was good in English class. Um, I took Latin as well, so because I was just interested in the roots of languages and just like languages in general. And then I also took French as well. So
Interesting.
I basically I understand French to this day. I don't speak as much anymore because if you don't use it, you kind of you get rusty
Yeah.
and like if s- like if the French if they speak to me in French, like I can understand like 80%, but I wouldn't have come up with the words if I would have to make the
I
sentence, if you
understand. Yeah.
know what I mean. Um but yeah, even with being good in school in languages, it's a completely different thing than actually like speaking the language like a native will speak them.
Definitely. Yeah.
So I think if I didn't go over to the States, I would have always stayed at that like German school level kind
I
of
understand.
English.
Yeah. So you were when you went to high school, you were 18, 19,
S- 16.
16. Yeah. Okay. Wait, how were you like when you were my age?
Uh, That that's a great question. I mean, I can obviously think back and tell you, and I will, but I think you always change a bit of things thinking back as well because
Yeah.
yeah, it's 12 years ago now. So but I think I was always when I was yeah, in high school and then also going towards university, I was always the one that tried to entertain the people, kinda. I was always the one I always got along great with everyone, so I was kinda like I had my main friend group, but then I also connected with everyone, which I thought at that time is a good thing, and I still think it's a good thing because you kinda yeah, you can kinda connect to everyone, but also I was at that time still just trying for everyone to like me.
Okay.
Like, there's people that I definitely wouldn't hang out with now.
Mhm.
Like, there is definitely people where I say, "Well, you're a good person and all, but it's just no benefit to me to, like, hang out with you and spend my energy on entertaining you if you don't offer any value to me in that sense." And when I was younger, um, I didn't really have that thought, and a lot of people to this day say that, this thought alone is selfish, but I don't care if it's selfish.
Mhm.
It's for me, I feel like putting my energy in things that offer value to me is a good thing, and if people think that's selfish, then I don't care. But yeah, back then I was just yeah, I was always involved in almost everything, and also not really saying no to a lot of things that I'm saying no to now,
Okay. Yeah.
like especially things like parties, like drugs, like always just that's a part of the curiosity where you just where you go into all these things where I mean I think most teenagers do, but there's definitely friends that I have and had that at that time didn't do these things. Like they always found a way to stay away from it, and I admire that. Like at that young age um to be able to abstain from it. But yeah, I was involved in everything, the good, the bad, the exciting, the scary. You know, like you just you're curious, you experiment a lot, and I think the older I grew, the more selective I kind of became
Okay,
of
yeah.
where do I spend my time, who do I spend my time with, and why. The most important thing is always the why is, and obviously the why shouldn't be because I don't like his face, but it's like, yeah, maybe this relationship brings me down the wrong path. Maybe this person is a great human and I can like I'm gonna hang out with him and stuff, but I'm not gonna get involved in this part of his life because he's gonna drag me down, stuff like that. And that's what I learned when I got older, to just be more selective.
Sounds like you matured a bit.
Well, I'd hope so. I'm ancient.
Hey, insane. I want to say that. No, yeah. So yeah. When would you say you started doing this selectiveness?
Probably probably started when I was about to finish high school, I guess. Like,
Okay, yeah.
but it didn't really like when I was in college, I was thinking about a lot of things more actively. But there's also a thing I learned, like you can know a lot of things, think you know them, but then being a young man or woman, but I'm a man. So being a young human, like even if your brain tells you one thing, you're not necessarily gonna act that way. And I learned that as well. So in in college, I still wasn't the person that I would have wanted to be. And it definitely took me after realizing kind of where I would want to go, in the sense of that I kind of know what values I want in my life. I kind of know specific goals that I want to reach at some point in my life. Like I know all these things. I think it still took me like 5 more years. So I would say maybe when I was 25 that I actually actively acted that way as well, where it was kind of like, and I always tell this to my friends or people that I just talk with. Say, like, people can tell you a lot of things, you can read a lot of books, but at the end, there's a switch that just has to go off in your mind. And for me, it just went off and was like, um, it's like, I don't know how to put it in words, but it's like everything does matter. Because I told myself a long time, yeah, I want these things, I want these values, and if I slip up, it's not that bad. And obviously, you shouldn't be harsh on yourself. So if you do slip up, it is not that bad. But in general, that switch just went, and it's like, no, everything is a choice. And if those are the values, then every choice has to reflect those values. And I think that was about 25, when I internalized that, and I finally like realized, no, if these are things that are really important to you, and they are, then every choice that you make in life has to reflect the things that are important to you.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. Yeah. Um, that's very deep and very interesting. Yeah.
but yeah, at the end, I think everyone, I, I think that journey like can relate to other people, but everyone also has their own journey.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
has things that are important to them, and they're going to be different than my things, and everyone also has to go through their way because obviously, well, not obviously, but for me, when I look back, I concentrate on, like, when I tell you the story, I concentrate on the things that I could have done better, that I know better now. But obviously, I had a good time. Like
Yeah.
I can tell you, like I had a good childhood. Like I had good teenage years, and I enjoyed myself and everything that I did on my way. Sounds cliche, but yeah, it led me here. You know, like um, everything that I went through, I had to go through to reach that point at some point. So everyone has their own journey,
Yeah.
and everyone has to make. That's the thing as well with like you can read million books, but at the end, everyone has to go through their own journey to become whoever they're eventually going to become. You know.
That's interesting. How do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see yourself in the upcoming years?
Ideally, I see myself as someone who doesn't have to work for another person, who, however that looks like, can live from a thing that I create myself. Um, and ideally, the thing that I create myself also allows me to travel and spend my time however I want. So I want to be location independent, and I want to be, um, yeah, basically job independent. So that, and I know I had this talk with my parents as well. It's like, well, that is just job life, you know, and there's nothing per se bad with working for someone. And like this job, like I love the job. Um, Managing the hostel in New Zealand, I love it. So I found a couple of jobs training people in Portugal. Like I've found jobs that I genuinely enjoy. And obviously, even if you work for yourself, you're not going to enjoy every single thing that comes with it. But because as soon as you do something to earn money, there are going to be things that are frustrating. There are going to be things that are time consuming. Um, so I know that as well, that there is no job or thing that you do for yourself that you're going to be completely happy 100% of the time. So I'm also, that's why I'm not saying that working for someone else is bad. I'm just saying that for me personally, um, it just doesn't line up with, like you said, like how I see myself, because I want to be completely independent. And in that, it just doesn't, there's no place for a work that is in one specific location. And even if I can do a remote job where I can travel, but I can work, but I work for someone else, I feel like at some point that's not going to be good enough for me personally, because I feel like I want to create something where I can just decide 100% what it is and not have to follow the vision of someone else.
Sounds like you're searching for freedom.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's a good way to summarize it. Yeah, you're searching for freedom. I think that's a really nice thought. Like breaking free from all the things that you think makes you stuck in a place, you know. For example, your job, like your occupation that makes you stick to a place, that makes you having to be somewhere. I think that is a thing that many people will try to avoid, especially now in the future. I see a lot of people in the younger community in this generation wanting to,
Right.
start something on their own, not wanting to work under someone else. And you said per se it's not wrong working for somebody else, but I think, especially around people in my age, it's become more frowned upon
Mm.
to wanting to pursue something like that. Uh, Normal trade jobs are um, young people don't want to do them anymore. Like
Yeah.
they trade blue collar ones. Everyone wants to work on their computer, and I understand that. I think everyone in the end wants freedom. Yeah.
But I, I just, because I also experienced my friends, for example. So, because I always say, because when I was younger as well, I always thought, well, obviously, I like the way I live. Why doesn't everyone else live like me? But I think freedom can also mean different things. And I mean, just to be clear, I totally agree with you. But I'm just trying to see the other side as well. And I see my friends who, like, they own houses now and or rent, but either way, like they have their home basically in Munich. They have married one of them. They have already married, and they're happy. So for them, their freedom maybe is just exactly that: having a stable job, having a stable home, and starting a family. So but yeah, it doesn't, yeah, like you said, everyone's looking for that freedom. And I guess it just depends on how everyone personally defines that for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Have you heard about the Maslow? No, is it called the Maslow hierarchy of needs? Abraham
I
Maslow.
I think so. I've heard the name
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it
Is
correct.
that the one? Yeah, like the primary
Yeah,
needs and
exactly, the
like
pyramid.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're probably familiar with it. So at the first stage, it's our physiological needs, so food, water, things to survive, basically. And the more up you go, the closer you get to how do I say it in English? Becoming who you want to be.
Right.
Self-realization. And I think a lot of people strive, like it feels like now more than ever, people want to come up there no matter what. It feels like people in the past were more satisfied with just living, being able to survive,
Right.
having a home. But it's pretty natural because times have changed. It's things are more available now. So all that I think also that impacts yeah, how people are.
Yeah, I definitely see that point as well. And yeah, I think that sums it up good. They were just happier to just live. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good way of saying it. And now we just, yeah, we just want more.
yeah. It's
Uh,
like my grandfather. He after high school, and he didn't even go to high school. He after ninth grade, he became a lumberjack
right.
and worked in that industry for his whole life. And he's one of the best people I know. He's one of the people I look up to because he's always so happy. He's
Mm.
always so friendly, and he has taught me a lot. Uh, and someone today, like a normal teenager today, will never go like, okay, yeah, after I finish school, I want to be a lumberjack and like work my ass off and break my back for
Right.
60 years. Like nobody's gonna do that anymore. And nobody's gonna do that and stay as happy as my grandfather was. And I think that's a good example, like for me to see how times have changed.
But because I don't really know how I would answer that question. So I'm interested in, because yeah, it's your granddad that you just told the story about. Do you think that's a good or a bad thing that teenagers nowadays don't want to do that?
That's a really good question. I haven't, I don't really know,
Yeah.
but I can say that I'm not one of them that wants. I do not want to commit myself to like my grandfather. I don't not want to commit myself to something for so long, and just do it my whole life. But I think that um, I think I mainly feel that that is a bad thing, that people uh, are more, in a way greedy and
Mhm.
just want more. I think you should be satisfied with your life and see the good things. I think nowadays people just compare themselves so much to other people, like on social media and everything. Oh, that person has something that I don't have, and I want that. So people feel very, very envious, and I think that ruins productivity, mental health, and just overall society and the attitude that we have amongst each other.
Yeah, I think social media definitely is a very big part in all the things you just mentioned. Probably the yeah, the biggest reason we compare, the biggest reason we want, because we're just more aware and we're being made more aware of these things.
Yeah.
Because like your granddad or my granddad, who was working for the railway company in Germany, like they didn't even have cell phones. They didn't have internet, so obviously they only knew what was going on next to them. And I think in the context that we're talking, that is a good thing, because you you can't even compare yourself to the people living in, I don't know, I'm just gonna say Dubai. I don't envy the lifestyle of Dubai at all, but
You
I'm
sure?
just saying. No, I would never. When I came to New Zealand, I stopped over in Qatar,
Yeah.
and I really didn't like it.
No.
I liked the desert. I really enjoyed going out in the desert and experiencing the landscape. I really liked the traditional part of Qatar. They have like a traditional market where you have the traditional Arabic cultures and Arabic foods and all that. I enjoyed going to the Qatar National Museum, where I could learn a lot of Arabic culture and history and literature, which I didn't know before, which was super interesting. But I really am not a fan of the whole the way the city is constructed to basically be made to look nice. Like you can
Yeah.
really see how it just looks sterile and, to me, in my personal opinion, has no character.
No, yeah,
It's
I get
just
you.
it's just made to look nice, and to me, that didn't have a positive effect. To me,
No.
that was kind of appalling.
Yeah, you don't like the big show off, big fast cars, big money.
Yeah.
No. But you kind of look like Andrew Tate, so I would expect you, sir.
Well, because I'm bold.
Yeah, yeah, like and every like your personality. But just kidding, just kidding. Not your personality. No, no, but I get you. I think that place like Dubai gets very, how do you say, it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really have. I never been to Dubai, so I can't really say it. But from my perspective, it looks really soulless.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
that's how I experience.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I was in Qatar, but like same.
yeah, yada yada yada. Yeah, yeah, and I really like places that uh mm, that you can feel the history and you can feel the soul. I've been I was in Prague 2 times this year.
Mm,
I was with my friends when we went through Europe, and I went with my family. And in a place like Prague, you can really feel the deep roots of the city. And I think
yeah.
that is it's not something you can see. It's like air, but you feel it. You feel it. It's in the smell. It's in all of your sensations. Feel the roots. And I think that is very important for a place. Yeah. How do we go from? Oh yeah, we talked about people and comparative social media.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
Dubai,
Yeah.
Prague. Um, but yeah, basically that that's the point about people now versus people back then. And even my parents, like, they had the internet when they were maybe like 30 or 40. I don't even know exactly, but they were introduced to the internet, and but they're not growing up with it, so they're also like they're not on social media and all these things. So I think with every generation, you can, like you said, you can definitely tell that we wanting more and more, like we're not as happy with what we have. And it can just be a coincidence, but you see that the newer generations have more and more access to more and more of the technology. So I think the valid question actually is, yeah, how does it influence all that? And I personally think it definitely does.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think social media has benefits and yeah, not so good things about it, like the thing we just spoke about. But also like some of the benefits, it's more accessible. Your friends are more accessible. I don't know what I will do without social media right now. Like all my friends, like my family, my friends, everyone is in Sweden. Like if I couldn't see
Right.
what they were up to, if I couldn't talk to them in the same way as I can right now, I will go insane. I don't even think I will go here in the first place because maybe I will, but it will be much harder. It's a very big thing to just cut out all of your social life back in your home country. And I think social media really opens a path to do that.
Yeah, that definitely is one of the good things
Yeah.
too. And also, like, to keep in contact with the people you meet here, because, you know, before social media, maybe you had, and I mean, WhatsApp technically is social media as well, because before that, you just had phones, right? And then you have that person, you meet them in Australia, but then they go back to Korea, they go back to France, and then they have a mobile phone of their country again.
Yeah.
So how are you going to reach them? Like all these sort
Exactly.
of things. And social media definitely makes that super easy nowadays.
Yeah, but that's true. And going back to the Dubai thing, I have to admit that I have been hooked on that culture as well. I really like, fast cars, big money, big things, flashy things. I really like that, and I think it's kind of if you admit that you like that, it's I think people doesn't see that as a good thing. So I think there's two sides of it. People this in this generation, people are not that humble anymore, but they don't want to see other people not being humble. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
So
I get what you mean.
yeah, so the cool things are the big flashy things, but people don't like that they admit them because that's frowned upon.
Yeah. To, yeah, to be honest, that's one of the things that I actually, and yeah, I don't know, maybe it is kind of hypocritical to like it in one culture and not like it in the other. But
Mm.
one of the things that I actually like the American culture, and did when I was younger, was exactly that difference as well to the German culture.
Yeah,
Because in Germany, you also, like, if you drive a fancy car, it's frowned upon. Like,
yeah,
it's, oh, why does he need a car like that? But in the States, they admire it. They're like, "Oh yeah, he worked so he can have like that car,"
exactly.
and that's also a big part of hip hop culture, which I like. Is that you show your success by wearing like bracelets and jewelry and all that stuff,
Yeah,
and you basically show your success by how you dress, what you drive, like all these things. So yeah, I don't know why I feel like it's more disingenuous in countries like uh the Emirates or Qatar. but I also like it in the States. I don't know.
Yeah, but I totally understand what you mean. One thing that I also, appreciate about American culture or Emirati culture is that you're allowed to dream big. Like
Mm.
it's part of your life to dream big. Uh, I think you should stay humble and you should stay happy with the things you are, but I also think you should keep striving to become what you really want in life. Um, and I think especially in America, people love, showing off, uh, and they love to, show that they are successful. And when I was in Miami this February, I was thinking like when I came there as a European, I was like, "Fuck, this is cool!" Like
Yeah.
they have really cool stuff, and I think what is the difference? Because like Europe, if you compare Europe to America, people have uh, in on average the same amount of wealth. Why don't we
Mm.
show off like they do? Uh, and it comes from culture, And I think it was just really cool seeing all these stuff that you don't usually see. So that's one thing I also admire about American culture. You're allowed to dream big, and you are also you're how do I say this? Um, it's encouraged. It's encouraged
Yeah,
to become what you want in life and doing something with your life that impacts other people. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, very interesting. Yeah,
Um, I think I'm gonna use that as the last thing we're gonna say
yeah.
because
Okay.
we already talked for 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Oh, that's a long time.
Time, time
Time
flies.
flies, man. Yeah,
Yeah, it does. Um, but yeah, we went all over the place. I
yeah.
love
We
it.
went really all over the place.
I
We
love
talked
it.
about you being in Portugal. We talked about why I am here. We talked about the butterfly effect and coincidences and how I came here with my friends. We talked about deep psychology and philosophy, about different cultures, and I think this has been a very nice conversation, and I really appreciated that you considered having me here.
Of course.
Yeah,
And I also want to thank you for taking the time and coming and sharing all your experiences and thoughts. And
anytime,
it was really nice.
anytime. And hej alla i Sverige som lyssnar på det här. Jag älskar er alla. I just said some words in Swedish for anyone who's Swedish to listening to this.
I trust you that you only say good things.
Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And with that, well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And
Thanks so much.
goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.